Have you ever wondered why some people seem to gain weight no matter how little they eat, while others can eat freely and stay lean? Most of us have been told that weight gain is all about calories in and calories out. Eat less, move more, that's the classic advice. But what if the real reason fat cells grow has less to do with calories and more to do with a hidden hormone that quietly controls your body's storage system? Here's the shocking truth. Fat cells don't expand simply because food is abundant. They grow when insulin levels rise. Think of insulin as the switch that tells your fat cells whether to store energy or to let it go. When insulin is high, your body is in storage mode. When insulin is low, your body can actually tap into its reserves and burn fat. This explains why two people can eat the same amount of calories but experience very different outcomes. One may store more fat, while the other burns more energy. The difference isn't just willpower, it's how their hormones respond. To really understand this, imagine a laboratory experiment. You could surround fat cells with all the calories they would ever need, and nothing would happen, they would just sit there. But the moment insulin is introduced, those cells start to swell, building up fat droplets within hours. Calories alone aren't the trigger, insulin is. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. Real-life cases prove this too. People with certain medical conditions show that it's nearly impossible to store fat unless insulin is elevated. When insulin levels are chronically low, the body can resist weight gain even with large amounts of food. Of course, this isn't a healthy situation for them, but it demonstrates how powerful this hormone truly is. So, if you've ever felt frustrated counting calories, forcing yourself through extreme workouts, or trying every diet trend, maybe it's time to shift the focus. Because if insulin is the real gatekeeper of fat, then lowering insulin is where true progress begins. Now, the big question: how do we actually control insulin? Many people turn to fasting. Intermittent fasting, for example, has gained popularity as a way to reduce insulin levels and encourage fat burning, and it works, but it's not always easy. Fasting requires discipline, planning, and sometimes it just doesn't fit into your lifestyle. Plus, not everyone feels good skipping meals. That's why a different approach has been gaining attention, a strategy sometimes called the insulin trick. Instead of long periods without food, this method focuses on adjusting when and how you eat, especially in the morning. To outsmart your hormones and guide your metabolism in the right direction, let's break this down. When you wake up, something interesting is already happening in your body. Your stress hormone, cortisol, rises sharply before dawn. This is called the dawn effect. It's nature's way of helping you get up, feel alert, and have energy for the day ahead. Cortisol tells your liver to release glucose into your blood, which gives you a burst of fuel. Sounds good, right? Here's the catch. That same glucose surge makes your body more insulin resistant in the morning. In other words, if you eat right after waking, your body is more likely to store that food as fat instead of burning it for energy. Surprising, isn't it? Many people assume breakfast should be eaten the second you open your eyes, but in reality, those first 2 hours after waking are when your body is least prepared to handle extra sugar and starch. Think about it. If you grab a sugary cereal, a muffin, or even just coffee with cream and sugar right away, your insulin skyrockets on top of an already high cortisol level. This double spike is the perfect recipe for fat storage. So what's the smarter move? Wait it out. Give your body a little time before feeding it. Use that morning energy to your advantage. Go for a walk, plan your day, stretch, or focus on some work. This way, you're burning the natural energy your body provides instead of piling more fuel onto the fire. When you do finally eat, make it intentional. Skip the sugary, carb-heavy breakfast. Instead, think of breakfast as a ritual. Choose foods that are nutrient-dense and don't cause a rapid insulin spike. This doesn't just reset your metabolism for the day, it sets the tone for healthier decisions in the hours that follow. Now, here's something most people don't realize. Breakfast has become almost like dessert in many parts of the world. Pastries, sugary drinks, refined cereals, these are marketed as the perfect way to start the day. But in reality, they're training your body to crave more sugar and making it nearly impossible to burn fat. The truth is, the simplest step you can take tomorrow morning is just to change your breakfast. But insulin isn't only influenced by food, sleep also plays a massive role. If you don't sleep enough, your body treats it like a stress event. That means cortisol in the morning can be 2 or even 3 times higher than normal. And remember, higher cortisol often means higher insulin. That's why after a poor night of sleep, you may wake up hungrier, craving carbs, and struggling to stay in control. It's not just in your head, it's your hormones pulling the strings. Lack of sleep not only makes you crave high-calorie foods, but it also weakens the signal of leptin, the hormone that tells your brain you're full. At the same time, it boosts dopamine in your brain's reward centers, which makes you desire comfort foods even more. In short, poor sleep sets you up for a day of overeating and fat storage. And here's another surprising twist. Even coffee can impact your insulin levels. While coffee by itself can raise alertness and energy, when combined with carbohydrates, like toast, bagels, or sweetened creamer, it forces your body to release even more insulin. In the morning, when cortisol is already high, this can be especially harmful. It's not that coffee is bad, but the timing and combination with other foods matter. So, what's the bottom line here? Controlling insulin in the morning is the key to unlocking better fat burning all day. If you can outsmart that delicate balance between cortisol, glucose, and insulin, you set yourself up for success. But how exactly can you build a morning routine that works with your hormones instead of against them? The good news is that you don't need extreme diets, endless workouts, or complicated routines. Small, intentional changes can make a powerful difference when it comes to lowering insulin and resetting your metabolism. Let's dive in. 1. Delay your first meal. One of the simplest strategies is to wait a little before eating in the morning. Remember, your body is naturally insulin resistant right after waking. That means food eaten too early is more likely to be stored as fat. You don't need to starve yourself, just give your body a window of 1 or 2 hours before the first bite. Use that time for light movement, hydration, or mental focus. This short delay takes advantage of your body's natural energy surge and prevents unnecessary fat storage. If you're new to this, start small. Maybe hold off for 30 minutes, then gradually extend it to an hour. With practice, your body adjusts, and you'll notice you don't feel as hungry as you thought you would. 2. Rethink breakfast. What you eat first sets the tone for the rest of your day. If breakfast is loaded with sugar and refined carbs, you'll trigger cravings that follow you for hours. Instead, focus on meals that provide steady energy without spiking insulin. Think of foods rich in protein, healthy fats, and fiber. These nutrients slow digestion, keep you full longer, and minimize blood sugar swings. For example, eggs with vegetables, plain Greek yogurt with seeds, or even a savory bowl of oats topped with nuts rather than sugar. The goal isn't to make breakfast boring, it's to train your body to burn fuel efficiently. 3. Be smart with coffee. Coffee itself isn't the villain, but timing and combinations matter. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach right after waking, when cortisol is high, can amplify insulin spikes. And when paired with sugary pastries or sweetened creamers, the effect is even stronger. A better approach: have coffee later in the morning, once cortisol levels have settled, and pair it with protein or healthy fat instead of carbs. This way, you enjoy the benefits of caffeine without sabotaging your insulin balance. 4. Prioritize sleep. Never underestimate the power of a good night's rest. When you don't sleep enough, your body interprets it as stress, raising cortisol and insulin levels. That's why after poor sleep, cravings for carbs and sweets feel irresistible. Aim for consistency, go to bed at roughly the same time, wake up at the same time, and create a sleep environment that allows deep rest. A dark room, cool temperature, and no screens before bed can make a huge difference. Quality sleep resets your hormones, making it far easier to manage appetite, cravings, and fat storage. 5. Use movement wisely. Exercise is often seen as a way to burn calories, but its real power lies in how it improves insulin sensitivity. Even light activity, like a morning walk, can make your muscles more responsive to insulin and help your body use glucose instead of storing it. The trick is to be consistent. You don't need intense workouts. Short, regular bouts of movement are enough. Try stretching, bodyweight exercises, or simply walking outdoors. Movement in the morning also uses up the natural glucose released by cortisol, further protecting you from fat storage. 6. Manage stress during the day. Insulin isn't only affected by food, stress plays a huge role. Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated, which in turn raises insulin. That's why stress often leads to cravings for comfort foods and weight gain around the belly. Simple stress management techniques can help. Deep breathing, short breaks from screens, mindfulness, or even a quick step outside to get fresh air. By lowering stress, you're lowering cortisol and giving insulin less reason to rise. 7. Think long-term, not quick fixes. Here's the part many people overlook. The insulin trick isn't about instant weight loss or dramatic overnight changes. It's about creating an environment in your body where fat burning becomes natural and sustainable. Think of it as building momentum. Each morning you wait a bit before eating, choose a balanced meal, or skip the sugar-heavy breakfast. You're teaching your metabolism to work differently. Over time, these habits compound, making it easier to control cravings, lose weight, and keep it off without constant struggle. Why this works so well? The reason these strategies are effective is simple. They align with your biology. Instead of fighting your hormones, you're working with them. You're giving insulin a chance to drop, allowing fat burning to happen. When insulin is low, your body doesn't feel the same urge to store fat. It taps into energy reserves instead. That means more stable energy, fewer crash, and a metabolism that feels like it's finally on your side. A word of caution: none of this means calories don't matter at all, they do. But calories aren't the whole story. If your insulin is constantly high, even the strictest calorie counting won't unlock fat burning. On the flip side, when you control insulin, your body becomes far more efficient at using the calories you eat. That's why people often find that once they master their morning routine, weight management feels easier. They're not fighting against hunger or cravings all day long. Their body naturally cooperates, putting it all together. So, let's recap. The insulin trick is about small, strategic changes that make a big difference. Delay breakfast to avoid eating during peak insulin resistance. When you do eat, focus on protein, healthy fats, and fiber. Hold off on coffee or at least avoid pairing it with sugary foods. Protect your sleep. It's one of the most powerful tools for balancing hormones. Move your body daily, even if it's just a short walk. Reduce stress wherever you can, because less cortisol means less insulin. These steps might sound simple, but simplicity is what makes them sustainable. And sustainability is the real key to lasting results. Imagine your mornings not as a battle against cravings, but as a launchpad for the entire day. By controlling insulin from the moment you wake, you decide whether your body spends the day storing fat or burning it. This isn't about punishment, deprivation, or obsession with numbers. It's about understanding how your body works and finally using that knowledge to your advantage. So tomorrow morning, try the experiment. Wait before you eat. Choose your breakfast wisely. Notice how you feel. Over time, you'll see the difference not only in your waistline, but also in your energy, focus, and mood. The secret isn't hidden in another extreme diet. It's hidden in your hormones, and now you know how to unlock the power of insulin to transform your health.